This is why UFC fighters are actually scared of Dricus Du Plessis.
He came here, fought his ass off, broke my nose. Like, dude, hell yeah, man. Like, hats off. Dude, you fought like a man.
He's a little sloppy at times. He does get tired. But the reality is he finds a way to win.
He's a crafty little minx, that one.
After his most recent title defense against Strickland, Dricus Du Plessis has proven to be the best middleweight in the world, and even Khamzat Chimaev, who Dana White has already confirmed to be next in line to challenge for the belt, should be careful of him because while Khamzat is yet to lose, the South African himself is 9-0 in the UFC and has dominated 3 former champions in the process. The question is, just how good is Dricus Du Plessis really? Well, let's find out. Dricus Du Plessis started his MMA career in 2013, fighting 16 times and winning 3 titles in 2 promotions. In 2019, he signed with the UFC, and in his debut, he faced Marcus Perez, who was super cocky heading into the bout.
I see his fights, and he's a MMA fighter. He's a strike and grappling and has jiu-jitsu, but no good strike and no good jiu-jitsu as a middle fighter.
Perez went on claiming that he'd knocked DDP out in the first round because he wasn't a natural middleweight fighter.
Me is a middleweight. This guy is a welterweight and a middleweight, and is more little. Maybe the punch is more strong. This I think that first round for me.
Dricus was just as confident that he'd be the one to get the job done.
Whether it comes by submission, whether it comes by knockout, whether it comes by TKO, I'm going out there to put on a bonus performance.
Perez continued to talk trash up until the face-offs, but inside the cage, Du Plessis made it clear that he was levels ahead of Perez, landing a huge left hook that ended the fight by TKO in just the first round. After dominating Perez in his UFC debut, DDP followed up with 2 more dominant wins against Trevin Giles and Brad Tavares to make his presence really start to be felt in the division.
I said it before, if you don't have a mission to be the greatest of all time, you shouldn't be here. You're going to get hurt. I want to be the greatest to ever do this sport.
However, being so early in his UFC career, Du Plessis wanted to protect his position in the UFC being on his first contract, and he planned to slowly build his way up.
You know, I'm on my first contract, so getting that big names on your first contract doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Dana White had other plans, however, as he matched him up with a big name like Darren Till in his 4th UFC fight, and Du Plessis absolutely smashed him, submitting Till in the 3rd round. The win catapulted Du Plessis into the higher rankings of the division, and so he naturally started calling bigger names out.
I would love to fight Paulo Costa. He's a big guy, in the weight, he's considered the big guy, and I think he's somebody that's he flourishes of being the big guy. You'll see a big guy when he steps in there with me, and I would love that fight.
Since Paulo Costa was busy sharing memes on Twitter, the UFC instead brought in wrestling ace Derek Brunson to test DDP to his limit. Knowing that it was his opportunity to enter the middleweight top 5 and then challenge the champion Israel Adesanya, Du Plessis shot his shot by calling Izzy an inauthentic African champ.
Did those belts ever go to Africa? As far as I know, it came to America and New Zealand. I'm going to take a belt to Africa.
Bold words aren't always the smartest before a fight, especially still as an up-and-comer, but DDP backed them up, leaving the Americans so battered that his corner had to throw in the towel.
Is there something extra gratifying about beating your opponent to the point where their corner throws in the towel?
Yeah, I guess that's good. No, a finish is a finish and a win is a win. So, I mean, I came tonight to beat Derek Brunson, to beat the top 5 guy in the world, and I did it, and I felt exactly everything. Nothing surprised me there.
Though DDP was running through competition, many questioned his gas tank as he often looked tired in fights and was often seen breathing through his mouth, which he and his coach blamed on a long-standing sinus issue which reduced his oxygen intake of his nostrils to just 8%. Anyway, now as the 5th ranked middleweight in the world, he went ahead with the surgery to fix his nose just a month after beating Brunson and was about to show all of his doubters that he was truly the scariest fighter in the division. Having entered the middleweight top 5 in a dominant fashion, Du Plessis was matched up against former champ and serial contender Robert Whittaker, who was oozing with confidence heading into the fight.
I'm going to try and dismantle him. I'm going to try and create holes and opportunity that I can exploit to take the win.
Since Whittaker hadn't lost to anyone but Israel Adesanya at middleweight, many backed him to ease past Du Plessis.
Beating Robert Whittaker is not going to be easy for him. Again, he could be a great fighter, but Robert Whittaker is just too well rounded. He's too good everywhere, and his skill set is going to be too much. So I think I'd be, you'd be mad to think that that Dricus can get it done. Obviously, underdog, underdog, entertaining for the underdog, get a big win, but not against someone like Rob Whittaker. Again,
I just find it very, very hard to choose a reason why Robert Whittaker wouldn't win, right? And in fact, I'm not going to. Robert Whittaker wins this fight, and I'll say it again, no disrespect to Du Plessis, because he's a great guy, and I love what he's doing. Robert Whittaker wins this one any way he likes.
Champion Adesanya also had Whittaker as the favourite, but deep down, he wanted Du Plessis to win just so he could teach him a lesson for questioning his African roots.
He can't outlast Rob. I think Rob will be faster than him, fitter than him. So yeah, he might just have to make it ugly. Rob can also fight ugly as well, so yeah, we'll see.
90% chance, Rob?
Yeah, you have it's honestly 70.
But you really want Dricus?
I really want Dricus. Maybe that's why I'm being biased.
Du Plessis ignored all of the noise and focused on the task at hand, which he knew was going to bring the best out of him.
I'm willing to take a limb off and this be the last fight of my life to beat Robert Whittaker with that piece of limb. I'm not even thinking about this title fight right now. I'm thinking about Robert Whittaker, and I mean, I guess they'll decide if I'm number one contender or not.
At UFC 290, Du Plessis proved once again that he was unbreakable. Despite struggling early and facing adversity, DDP fought back to secure one of the biggest knockouts of his career in the second round.
Du Plessis got Whittaker in all kinds of trouble.
In a world of trouble. Oh! Whittaker covers up! Do you believe it? Dricus Du Plessis calls his shot and stops Robert Whittaker inside 10 minutes!
Wow!
That's when Izzy, who was in attendance, stepped into the cage to remind Dricus who the champ was.
This is my African brother right here. Let's go, what's up, let's go, yeah, my African brother. Yeah, my African brother.
I'm African, but I ain't no brother of yours, son.
The heated face-off set the stage perfectly for a battle for the ages between Adesanya and Du Plessis, but DDP had to decline the immediate offer due to injury. The UFC then brought in Strickland, who shocked the world by beating Adesanya and winning the belt. Du Plessis wasted no time calling out Strickland, making it clear that he was coming for his newly won belt, and just 4 months later, Du Plessis locked in a title fight against the newly crowned champ, who was this time favoured by most MMA experts, given his demolition of Adesanya.
5-5s against Strickland's a nightmare. DDP, yeah, I don't know. I just have a feeling Strickland gets the job done, but DDP's very dangerous.
Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. It's very interesting. I'm taking Strickland. Let me get right to the point. I'm taking Strickland.
Strickland was full of confidence heading into the fight, talking a ton of trash.
You guys know me, I don't give a f about that belt. I just want to make motherfuckers bleed. And Dricus is the next one who's gonna fucking bleed. I can't fucking wait.
He said he's gonna walk through me, and I'm glad that you won't finish me. You won't even get close. But don't worry, there won't be enough.
I don't gotta
time
worry
for you
about
to think
finishing.
about
Your
it.
coach will finish you in the back like you're fucking used to. Don't worry about that.
But when Du Plessis fired back, he reopened old wounds from Strickland's past, including the abuse he suffered from his father.
Bro, why are you so angry? Bro, you think your dad beat the shit out of you? Your dad doesn't have shit on me. I'm gonna show you what it's like to beat you. I mean, every childhood memory you have is gonna come back. Shit
I
out
will
of you.
take your fucking soul. You understand me, you fucking pussy? Yeah, you fucking laugh, you fucking faggot.
Yeah, I got a nerve. I see I hit a nerve there.
Yeah, you fucking did hit a nerve, you fucking bitch. Go ice your fucking ankle, you fucking coward.
The two went to war at UFC 297 and battled for 5 intense rounds that saw both bruised and battered, but it was Du Plessis who edged out a razor-close decision to finally achieve his lifelong dream of becoming a UFC champion.
When they said and knew, it felt like 15 years of work, of dreaming, of sacrificing, of everything came together in one single sentence. It's incredible.
Du Plessis' title win over Strickland was a crucial turning point in his career as people finally started to realize just how scary good he really was.
This guy is crazy. In the entire country, exploded when he became champion. I'll tell you this, man. I never thought that we'd be here today with Dricus Du Plessis as the middleweight champion of the world. I didn't know. But as he told me earlier in the week, and as I now understand, he does things his own way.
Nearly 6 months after claiming the title, Du Plessis faced a returning Israel Adesanya, but he was no longer the underdog this time round as pros had started to understand that he was an absolute monster.
I'm gonna lean towards Dricus.
Any idea why? Can you elaborate a little?
I think what he displayed in his fight against Sean Strickland, I think that forward pressure and that awkward, unorthodox style, especially with the success that Sean had doing that to Izzy, I think that's a recipe to beat Adesanya.
From press conferences to face-offs, the build-up to their fight at UFC 305 was intense, with Adesanya taking every chance to fire shots at DDP.
If he wants to have to be perfect, if he feels that way, sure, but man, it's hard to do that against me. I just want to show you guys how great I am. And he said himself, like, he has the belt to prove that he's great. I was great without the belt. I was great before the belt, and I'll be great after the belt. I'm Israel Adesanya, and I'll remind you guys that I'm the last stylebender.
DDP stayed cool and composed as always, while his strategic jabs got under Adesanya's skin, making him lose his composure.
You're saying that I
Bro,
made it
shut
about
the f up. You don't even know anything about my story. You have no idea who the f I am.
I don't care about your story. I don't care about your story.
Listen, my father and myself had to wake up at 4 a.m. and clean the banks while my mom studies to be a nurse. You don't know my story.
Man,
don't speak of my story if you don't know my story.
I don't care.
I will show you who you are Sunday. So right now, shut the f up.
And DDP's trash talk became too much as Izzy even started crying.
I do this for my family. I do this for the people I love, and I'll fight for you forever. I swear to God. Watch this. Look, I'm a f***ing human being. I am a man. I can cry and whoop your ass at the same time. I feel the love from the crowd. First time I fought here, 2-2-1. That was February 2018. That was me making my dream come true. Sunday, I'm gonna f***ing kill your dreams, bitch. I wanna f***ing kill your dreams.
Izzy looked mentally broken and it showed in the fight. It was competitive early on, but by the 4th round, Du Plessis' strength, power, and relentless pressure took over as he rocked Adesanya, dragged him to the mat, and sealed the deal with a rear naked choke to make his first successful title defense.
The center of the octagon. Oh, he hurt him with that one bad. Right on the side of the head. Point, big right hand. 3 in a row for Du Plessis. And now drags Adesanya down. Straight to throwing one hook in. Let's see if...
Oh, he's got the choke.
Du Plessis. Oh, he gets it done. Still, oh my God. South Africa, Dricus Du Plessis remains the man at 185.
The moment he was able to get another takedown, he got it.
The MMA world was once again blown out of the water.
Dricus is a fucking animal,
That's
dude.
That's a tough motherfucker.
He's a fucking animal.
That's a
holy
tough
shit.
Guy.
I was saying that those punches, even though he's exhausted, you can't be in those exchanges. You're gonna get clipped. If you get clipped, you're in real trouble.
He's obviously very, very technical, but sometimes he can look a little bit messy, and I'm sure we can all agree on that. Sometimes he does look a little bit messy in there, but he makes up for it in spirit, will to win, and just persistence. Like, if he doesn't get what he's going for, he will keep going for it and grind his opponents down until he gets it. He just looked fantastic out there last night.
Even Adesanya was now a fan.
He gave me a lot of respect in there, and I gave him his respect back. And I already knew he was a fan of me. I knew he's a fan of me. But I guess now I'm a fan of his because we've been in there, we've done it. And when I'm in South Africa, I'll tap in with him. But I said, look, we can hang out, but just so you know, when we have to fight again, I'm going to kill you. He's like, I'm going to kill you too.
With Adesanya in the past, Sean Strickland wasted no time calling out Du Plessis for a rematch, considering the controversial decision to their first fight. But little did he know, he was biting off more than he could chew.
Does he want to cry again?
Given how close their first fight was, the odds and experts should have predicted another war. But after watching Du Plessis dismantle Adesanya, not many were willing to bet against him, especially after being proven wrong time and again.
Du Plessis is the champ and the rightful favorite in this rematch, and I don't see a path to victory for Strickland if he doesn't bring a weapon into the ring.
Sean tends to be very headstrong in wanting to get out of his own way. And I think that might play a factor here. And him not wanting to change anything in his style, I think might hinder him from being champion.
Strickland remained confident going into the fight, but he was noticeably more measured, simply making his usual promise for war for the fans.
The man has a cinder block forehead. You see him the next day. The guy can take damage. We're probably going to have a 5-round war. I'm going to try to put his ass down. He's going to try to put my ass down. One of us is going to get f***ed up. It ain't going to be me. To the f***ing death. I think the Dutch man can agree. We're going to put on a war, and we're going to try to f*** each other up, and that's a promise we both can make you guys.
But this time round, Du Plessis silenced all doubts from the first fight and was simply too much for Strickland. From the get-go, DDP set a relentless pace, outworked Strickland for pretty much all 5 rounds, and even broke his nose several times before winning by this time a dominant unanimous decision.
Yeah, dude, I broke it, and I was like, well, in the movies, they just set it back into place.
I saw you trying, and I was like, wrong way, man. Wrong way. You went like this.
No, I felt it. I said it, and the crazy thing is you shot at me again. And dude, your nose just touched in. You fucking broke it.
I saw it when the broke
Hey, at the end of the day, man, we talk about shit, but you're a bad motherfucker. That's the one.
Du Plessis will likely face Khamzat Chimaev next, but even the undefeated wrestling phenom won't be able to pass this test, according to a former UFC champion.
I personally think he beats up Khamzat Chimaev. I don't think it's gonna be easy to submit. I think DDP is scrambly, and I think his conditioning, bro.
Do you guys think Khamzat Chimaev is the guy to end Dricus Du Plessis' unbeaten UFC run? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, you'll definitely want to see times where cocky UFC fighters got completely humbled by their opponents.